Good to be with you. I'm Tony DeCopo in Cincinnati. The breaking news right now. President Trump threatens to send troops into Minneapolis after another tense night of protests. Officers in riot gear, the plea from Governor Walz, what he wants from President Trump. Matt Gutman is there live. And the breaking news out of Iran tonight, Arab states ask the Trump administration not to attack Iran, what the White House is warning tonight.
The memory of the business is alive and well here through their signs.
Yeah. And the good stuff tonight, small business in America. What's behind the blinking, buzzing history of neon signs?
Live from America, this is the CBS Evening News with Tony DeCopo, reporting tonight from Cincinnati.
Good evening. We are coming to you live from the American Sign Museum here in Cincinnati. More on that in a moment, but we have to begin in Minneapolis. For the second time in a week, an ICE agent shot someone last night, deepening the public fear and anger there and once again sending protesters into the streets overnight. Now, with thousands of federal agents already on the ground, President Trump is threatening to send in U.S. troops to protect them if local politicians don't obey the law, as he put it. Chief correspondent Matt Gutman is there and leads us off tonight. Matt, good evening.
Good evening, Tony. There has been essentially continuous tension here since that agent-involved shooting last night. A lot of folks in Minneapolis are wondering what a U.S. military presence would look like here, because after all, there are already about 3,000 federal agents here on the ground, a force that is about 5 times larger than the entire Minneapolis Police Department. We are seeing these federal officers begin to move in on this crowd. In Minneapolis this evening, tensions are soaring. Protesters facing off against federal agents. You get a sense of how many federal troops are out here. And just moments later, they deployed a bunch of chemical agents on this crowd. It is unrest set off by a second ICE agent-involved shooting last night. A Venezuelan migrant was shot after allegedly trying to flee federal officers. He and 2 others were arrested, but the incident ignited the fiercest clashes since the federal government deployed about 3,000 federal immigration agents here. And this video appears to show vandals breaking into a federal official's car and carting off this crate, then spray painting the car. The protests and vandalism prompted that threat from President Trump today to invoke the Insurrection Act if Minnesota politicians don't, quote, obey the law and stop the professional agitators and insurrectionists from attacking the patriots of ICE.
That would probably lead to more violence.
And tonight there are 2 versions emerging of that shooting. Cell phone footage shared on social media by a state senator appears to show the moments after last night's shooting. A woman called 911 and can be heard pleading for help. The caller says her husband was chased by ICE agents before he reached his home and was shot in front of his family. But according to DHS, Julio Cesar Sosa Celis fled from federal officers, crashed into a parked car, then resisted arrest. 2 other men then came out of a nearby apartment and allegedly attacked the officer with a snow shovel and a broom handle. Fearing for his life, DHS says the ICE agent fired a defensive shot, hitting Sosa Celis in the leg. And just a short time ago, Tony, the FBI putting out a flyer offering a $100,000 reward for information leading to the recovery of stolen government property from that vehicle that we saw vandalized in that vehicle. That, as Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has been pleading with the president, but also the protesters, to tone down the temperature. Tony.
Hoping for a quiet night. Matt Gutman for us. Matt, thank you very much. Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado brought her Nobel Peace Prize medallion to the White House today and gave it to President Trump. While in the Caribbean, U.S. forces seized another oil tanker as the president seeks to tighten control over Venezuela's oil industry. Weijia Zhang is at the White House for us following this and all of it. Weijia, good evening.
Good evening, Tony. The administration has now seized 6 oil tankers and just announced the first U.S. sale of Venezuelan oil valued at $500 million. But the future of the Venezuelan government remains unclear. Maria Corina Machado is hoping to change that.
New video shows U.S. Marines and sailors slipping onto the ship in the middle of the night, guns drawn as they seized another sanctioned oil tanker linked to Venezuela. President Trump has said the U.S. will control Venezuela's oil reserves and the country itself, although he has recognized interim President Delcy Rodriguez, Nicolas Maduro's former deputy, as its current leader.
She's a terrific person. I mean, she's somebody that we've worked with very well.
Today, Trump hosted the woman who would like to replace Rodriguez, opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, who was mobbed outside the White House by supporters. Machado, who received the most recent Nobel Peace Prize, an award Trump has said he deserved, gave him the medal during their private meeting.
I presented the President of the United States the medal of the Nobel Peace Prize, a recognition for his unique commitment with our freedom.
The move may have been designed to win Trump over after he previously said it would be hard for her to lead Venezuela because she lacks respect from its citizens, and that he would like to see elections there in the future.
Is he committed to a transition to democracy for Venezuela?
Yes, and he is also committed to hopefully seeing elections in Venezuela one day, but I don't have an updated timetable for you today.
Weijia, back to this Nobel Peace Prize medallion, the idea of Machado giving it to President Trump, that's an extraordinary move. What more can you tell us?
But Tony, President Trump has made very clear that he is not happy about not winning the award. Even when Machado was first announced as the recipient, she dedicated that Nobel to Trump, laying the groundwork to gain his support as she aims to become Venezuela's future president. But even before their meeting today, the Nobel Peace Center posted on social media a medal can change owners, but the title of a Nobel Peace Prize laureate cannot. Tony?
All right, Weijia, thank you very much. To Iran tonight, it appears the government has largely quieted protests for now after a brutal crackdown that killed thousands, even as the threat of U.S. military involvement remains. More now from Elizabeth Palmer in London.
Tony, the regime has now reestablished order, though universities remain closed and the internet is still down for most people. The killing of protesters over the weekend is a national trauma. But it is over, at least for now. The regime is enforcing business as usual. Shopkeepers have to open up or be fined, and citizens know it's safer to hide their grief in public. On state television, the propaganda machine is in high gear. It broadcast the funeral procession of police officers who died in the unrest, which it blamed on Israel and the CIA. When the protests erupted and President Trump hinted that America might intervene, a Gulf official tells CBS News that 4 Arab states, Oman, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar, helped lower the tension. They warned that a strike on Iran could endanger both security and economic interests in the region. Tony?
Liz, thank you. Verizon is offering customers affected by yesterday's cell phone outage a $20 credit, which the company says should cover multiple days of service for most people. According to a site that tracks this kind of thing, nearly 180,000 customers lost their signal, mostly in New York, Atlanta, Charlotte, and Houston. Verizon is reportedly blaming a software issue. A first today for the U.S. space program. An astronaut returned to Earth early because of a medical issue, along with the rest of his crew. All 4 of those who boarded the International Space Station back in August splashed down safely in the Pacific this morning in a SpaceX capsule, all a month ahead of schedule. Here's Mark Strassman.
This is Crew 11 re-entering after 167 days.
Suddenly, there it was, a SpaceX capsule streaking towards splashdown near pre-dawn San Diego.
Splashdown and names are cut.
From this capsule, looking like a charred marshmallow, someone in this returning crew of 4 is grappling with an unknown medical issue. It's too significant to risk staying longer in space. In a first, NASA lopped weeks off the space station mission to evacuate the astronaut.
It was a serious situation. The astronaut in question is fine right now, good spirits.
On board, 2 Americans, a Japanese, and a Russian.
Undocking confirmed.
The astronauts pushed off the ISS last night to begin a roughly 10-hour return trip. But its origin goes back a full week when the ISS crew radioed Houston for help.
Do we have like a crew center?
Yes, we'll get that in work.
All astronauts learn basic medical skills. Some astronauts, but not most, are also physicians by training. But this issue apparently went beyond onboard triage and equipment. And in a break with splashdown protocol, the returning crew choppered straight to a San Diego area hospital for overnight testing and evaluation.
They would probably have told you that it's bittersweet coming home. Astronauts really enjoy being in space right now, but I think they should take comfort in the fact they executed extraordinarily well on an unexpected situation.
A little more insight now, Tony. That capsule was never a space ambulance because while the issue is serious, NASA says the affected astronaut does not need emergency care. And all the crew is expected to leave that San Diego hospital tomorrow and head home to Houston. Tony?
That's good to know, Mark. Thank you very much. Still ahead on the CBS Evening News tonight, dozens of cars and semis pile up on a snowy stretch of interstate, and the opioid crisis here in Cincinnati. What turned it around? Stay with us. We are back live in Cincinnati at the American Sign Museum. The news now, though, police in western Pennsylvania investigating a large chain reaction crash today on a snowy stretch of I-80. Take a look at the video from the scene. It shows cars and trucks piled up in the median. Not clear how many people were hurt or how many vehicles involved, but dramatic images. California's famous Pacific Coast Highway, meanwhile, is now fully reopened following two major landslides dating back to January of 2023. The landslides, a year apart, shut down several miles of the historic highway along the Big Sur coast south of the Bay Area. And here's one for fans of British pop superstar Harry Styles. I would be one of them. He announced today that his long-awaited fourth studio album is coming out on March 6th. It's called Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally. This is the first full album since Harry's House in 2022, which won the Grammy for Album of the Year. Profiled him for Sunday Morning. Still ahead on the CBS Evening News, we are live from Cincinnati. The American Sign Museum lights up the night with some brand new neon. We will reveal it. Stay with us. We are back live in Cincinnati at American Sign Museum, covering a story out of right here. Last month, President Trump declared fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction, promising to strike alleged labs in Mexico, in addition, of course, to months of airstrikes on alleged drug boats off the coast of Venezuela. But long before any of that, the opioid crisis had already peaked and begun what is now a historic multi-year decline. The question is, what worked? And can we keep it up?
Make that shift. So then
the streets we walk today with Tom Synan used to be among Cincinnati's worst. These benches, a common crash site for people overdosing on opioids.
August 19th through the 27th of 2016, carfentanil hits the streets of Cincinnati. We have never been the same, and the country had never been the same.
And we saw it too on assignment not far away in 2017. But now, Synan, the police chief of nearby Newtown, Ohio, says he and his teams have seen a turnaround as they bust suppliers and treat addicts.
We're in a fourth consecutive year of seeing a reduction in overdose deaths.
We've got Narcan and we've got test strips.
It's all part of a historic reversal. According to the CDC, the deadliest drug epidemic in American history peaked in 2023 at 111,000 fatalities, has fallen every 12-month period since, and is now down to 69,000 as of August 2025. Researchers have credited that in part to the overdose antidote naloxone and a sudden drop in the potency of drugs coming in from China, something the chief has seen as well. The rest is more complicated.
What is a weapon of mass destruction, and who do we go after?
With the language of war, President Trump is signaling an attack on suppliers and dealers. But as we wandered into Cincinnati's Finlay Market,
I had a couple friends lost throughout the years.
Not everyone agreed. That term works for you.
Yeah. I mean, it is. And they put it in everything, and you don't, it's sickening.
Do you think calling it a weapon of mass destruction helps solve the drug problem?
No.
We've been having a war on drugs for decades, and we're still fighting it, trying to combat it. And it's always going to be a new drug popping up to replace something that we think that we put on the shelf. I don't think the label matters at all.
As for Chief Synan, he says what's mattered more here is not enforcement, but treatment of addictions, including the millions of federal dollars spent on programs like his, checking on addicts and getting them help. And on that last point, Chief Synan says his department was put in a tailspin, as he put it yesterday, when it received word the Trump administration was slashing grants to support such addiction treatment programs, though he called it a huge relief when the administration suddenly reversed course hours later. We'll be right back live from Cincinnati.
This portion of the CBS Evening News is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Keep your career moving forward. Visit careers.progressive.com.
And now the good stuff. A museum here in Cincinnati tells America's story through America's signs. How are you? I'm Tony. All his life, Todd Swarmstead has been fascinated not by American business, but by the signs outside, announcing to all the world, we're here. Every one of these represents somebody's enthusiastic passion.
To me, it's all about small business, the heart of America.
That interest is now the American Sign Museum, a collection of more than a century of entrepreneurship and ambition. I didn't actually think that it was going to feel emotional, but it is, because hopes and dreams are on the line. A few of these businesses are still around. Here's a small business that has done pretty well for itself here.
I think so.
But the vast majority are not. The old style lager cafe, I'm sure some memories were made there.
Yes, definitely. Some we can talk about and some we can't.
A reminder of the moxie it has always taken to start something new, and the good fortune when it lasts.
The memory of the business is alive and well here through their signs.
Around one final corner, we found two professional benders, as the craft of neon is known, who made a new American sign. Whoa! For a classic American company. I'm very touched. Great. Cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really love that sign. And that is another day in America. For CBS News, I'm Tony DeCopel, live in Cincinnati. That sign, by the way, it is coming back to New York with us one way or another, but not before one final stop tomorrow in Pittsburgh. Steel City, here we come. We'll see you then. Good night.